Sacred Trees and Carbon Sequestration, Indigenous Forestry Models. Do you know that the world's most advanced carbon storage system isn't found in a laboratory but in the sacred forests of Africa? While billion-dollar corporations race to invent carbon capture machines, indigenous communities have quietly mastered this science for centuries, rooted not in profit but in reverence. The hidden carbon vaults of Africa. Across the African continent, from the misty highlands of Ethiopia to the sacred groves of Nigeria, there exists an ecological paradox. The oldest, most spiritually protected forests are also the most scientifically efficient at locking away carbon. What modern science calls carbon sequestration, indigenous Africa has long practiced through cultural protection, which is what we call traditional ecological knowledge, or TEK. These forests are not managed by policy, they are governed by belief. Here, trees are the dwelling of deities, groves are ancestral sanctuaries, and cutting a branch could mean spiritual exile. This is ecology bound by faith, a system where cultural taboo functions as the most effective conservation law. And for centuries, this invisible governance has preserved ecosystems more effectively than many modern regulations ever could. Modern research has finally caught up with ancient wisdom. Studies in Ethiopia's church forests show carbon stocks ranging from 127.5 to 318.5 megagrams of carbon per hectare, rivaling and often surpassing commercial plantations. Older groves protected for over 200 years show carbon densities up to 65 metric tons per hectare. These are not relics of faith. They are biological fortresses storing centuries of atmospheric memory. In Togo, sacred forests outperform neighboring community-managed lands in both biomass and biodiversity. In Nigeria, the Osun Osogbo Grove holds an average of 115.9 tons of carbon per hectare, acting as a living carbon vault beneath its cultural canopy. These results defy the global assumption that conservation must be funded. It shows it can be believed into existence. Commercial plantations are designed for profit, not permanence. They harvest young trees, disrupt soil carbon, and replace diversity with uniformity. In contrast, sacred forests value maturity over yield and diversity over uniformity. The result, stability, longevity, carbon permanence. Culture, not capital, becomes the true engine of sustainability. Traditional ecological knowledge extends far beyond forests. In East Africa, Maasai communities practice controlled cultural burning, clearing ground fuel to prevent catastrophic wildfires. Their rotational grazing system, Enkishon, prevents soil degradation, allowing grasses and root networks to rebuild soil carbon, an often forgotten climate asset. This is not primitive management, it is ecological engineering. Carbon sequestration is not just about trees, it is about time. Sacred forests embody ecological time, undisturbed, self-healing, continuous. Where modern systems collapse every 30 years with each harvest cycle, indigenous systems sustain carbon for centuries. The lesson is clear. Stability grows where reverence endures. The path forward is not just ecological, it is ethical. To protect these forests, we must protect the people who guard them. That means securing indigenous land rights, funding community forestry, and integrating tech into national climate policies. Because the truest carbon technology on Earth isn't mechanical, it is cultural sovereignty. For millennia, Africa's indigenous guardians have kept the planet's lungs breathing through systems of sacred stewardship. As we face a climate emergency, the answer lies not in chasing innovation but in remembering wisdom. Support organizations preserving indigenous forests. Advocate for TEK inclusion in global climate strategies, because when we invest in Indigenous knowledge, we invest in Earth's oldest and most reliable carbon technology, the sacred tree.